I am greatness in the body of a man. The pressures couldn't crack me, still here I stand. In fact, here I move, or better yet, progress. Still I live in the dark, bro, I love it out here. Accentuated by light, I envision success. Been at the crossroads, at the verge of making the deal. Niggas talk about the edge, but never what I have seen.
That's why I teach, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you fear, at times to be terrible things to face. But remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can listen to the scholars, they say in every debate. That's why I teach, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you fear, at times there'll be terrible things to face. But remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can listen to the scholars, they say in every debate. I'm obsessed with human history, Sumerian to the Greek, Roman to the Renaissance. The future looks bleak, that's why I stay at the stars. Ask them what do they see every day, I wait for an answer. I know one day they will speak and tell me where I stand in the grand scheme of things. Currently feel like a warrior, my mind is the sharpest thing. You don't wanna see what I've cut for the horror of what it bleeds. My brain matter expands from the sheer weight of the knowledge I've acquired through the ages. I've never been to a college. I'm gifted with discernment, I can tell when it's nonsense. Thus the path I walk is filled with thorns from the roses. I am waking every cell in my body, setting the lotus. When I'm meditating, I let my mind release the oceans. Calm, soothing waves when I'm agitated. It's potent, made in the image of God. When I'm educated and older, I'm the resurrection of Thor. The Hermes holding a gold. That's why I teach, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you fear, at times to be terrible things to face. But remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can listen to the scholars, they say in every debate. That's why I teach, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you fear, at times to be terrible things to face. But remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can listen to the scholars, they say in every debate. Dedicate my life to being the God of wisdom tomorrow, so I'm free from the bonds of the flesh, especially sorrow. Ignorance was never bliss, it took away all the hope. It could be that, or the knowledge would terrify every soul. And that's the reason before you farm, you cultivate the soil. Reason I always teach that your mind must be the fort. Solidify and enforce, build a base and explore. You'll be amazed by the mind and its magnificent holes. As you wander and peruse amid the chasms and flaws and idle minds, a terrible room where demons can hold balls and imprison you in fears. They take all you hold close. If you can conquer the mind, you can conquer the globe. But being's better than having. I chose to become a god. If you can hold it against me, I forgive you. It's choice. I choose to always have positivity in my zone while I'm flirting with the thin against ignorance, waging war. That's why I teach, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you fear, at times there'll be terrible things to face. But remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can listen to the scholars, they say in every debate. That's why I teach, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't you fear, at times there'll be terrible things to face. But remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can listen to the scholars, they say in every debate. Ingested so much knowledge, they told me I'd go insane. But instead, I evolved into something more than a man. The matters of the gods are what's plaguing my mind state. The opening of the eyes is a curse in a blind world. They say the sky is the limit, they must live in a glass cage. My mind is so vast it can accommodate space, multiple universes and everything they entail. So believe me, I know the mind's a terrible thing to waste.